Welcome. Now, I know these player signings are a little bit dated, but I really wanted to talk about them. And I'm speaking of, Connor Brown and Ilya Mikheyev and Kris Russell. And I want to start with Connor Brown, who just re-signed with the Ottawa Senators on a 3-year deal for $3.6 million per. Now he's 6 foot, 186 pounds from Etobicoke, Ontario. He's 26 years old. His birthday isn't until January. He plays both wings. He's really good on the penalty kill. He's a worker bee, great at digging out pucks. Has the potential to score 20-plus goals a season, and he's very responsible in his own zone. Ottawa's got a ton of cap space. I think this is a very fair deal for both the team and the player here. Now, in this past season, in 71 games, he had 16 goals and 43 points, a career high for him, -6. His best season, at least goal-wise, that was back in Toronto in the 2016-17 season where he had 20 goals, 36 points, +3. Now, he's usually, I would say he's like an elite third liner. In Ottawa, he's a top sixer. So I'm happy that he's doing so well for him. I had sort of, as a Toronto fan, I had a soft spot for him. They were forced to trade him because of the Zaitsev contract. They had to add him as a sweetener. So, good luck to him and good for him for signing this deal. Ottawa got a good player. Now, moving on. But before we do, Ottawa, do they have anyone else to sign? Yeah, they've got one RFA with arbitration rights, and that's Chris Tierney, the 26-year-old center. We'll see what happens to him. He's not going to break the bank. And don't forget, Ottawa's got like over $17 million in cap space left. Yeah, I know. They're not going to spend anywhere near it because of Melnick, but you know what I mean. Let's talk about Kris Russell re-signing or re-upping with the Edmonton Oilers, because he's actually still under contract for one more year for the next season at $4 million. But he re-upped with them for $1.25 million for 1 year. I think that's a pretty good deal. I mean, Kris Russell is now a depth defender. He's 33 years old. He just had a birthday in May. 6'5", 170 pounds from Alberta, Canada. He plays both. He can play both sides of the defense. He's ambidextrous that way. He's handy to have around. Good depth guy. Blocks a ton of shots, as everyone knows. Not the most talented or analytics-friendly player, but keep in mind he starts a lot of his shifts in the defensive zone, right? In 55 games last season past, he had 9 points. Was a 0 in the plus-minus category. He obviously penalty kills as well. In the playoffs in 4 games, he had 0 points. It was a -1. Either way, this is a good signing for Edmonton. It's a safe one. When it comes to cap space, they have just over $730,000 left, and they still have to sign Ethan Bear, an RFA with no arbitration rights, the right shot defenseman who's only 23 years old. We'll see how that happens. I'd love to hear Oiler fans' idea of what might go on with him. Probably a bridge deal. I would imagine he doesn't put up much points, at least right now. So perhaps $2 million or less. We'll see how that goes. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Ilya Mikheyev, who has re-signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs, on a 2-year deal worth $1.645 million. Now, he came over from the KHL last season, played with Tavares on that second line, and it worked out really well. Now, he's 6'3", 195 pounds from Russia. He's 26 years old, just had his birthday in early October, plays both wings. And the best way for me to describe him really is he's like a Zach Hyman light in a way. He's faster than Hyman, deceptively fast on the skates, actually. But is not quite as tenacious. Although he's great at digging out corners and battling for pucks, that sort of thing. He's really good in front of the net, although he may not be the softest of hands in terms of stick handling. And he's a half-decent playmaker as well. So last season in 39 games, he had 8 goals, 23 points, +7. He's also a pretty good penalty killer, by the way. Has a really long reach. He only played 39 games because he got injured. If you don't remember, I want to say it's against New Jersey, where he had a lacerated wrist with a skate. It was pretty ugly. And he recovered for that to show up in 5 playoff games where he didn't score any points and was a -1. And I think they brought him down to the third line at one point. But again, you got to give the guy a break, right? Coming off an injury, stepping right into the playoffs for the first time, playing in the North American ice for the first time. I think he's really going to blossom, and this is a no-brainer at a great price for the Maple Leafs. Fans already love him, and for signing for that kind of money, they're going to love him even more. Now, the issue is Toronto's kind of over the cap limit right now by only by $175,000, so it's not much, and they have time to finagle things around. At this moment, Cap Friendly has Peter Envel, who was the fourth line center / third line moonlighter down in the minors, because I believe he's got a 2-way contract. Barabanov is also set in the minors, according to them as well. I definitely think he's going to start with the Leafs, though. He's another KHL signee they brought in towards the around April or so. And then there's Joey Anderson, who's also listed as in the minors here. They got him in the trade for Andreas Johnson with New Jersey. He's also kind of coincidentally seen as like a Zach Hyman-like kind of player, a worker bee. He needs to be signed as well, but I would think they'd be able to get him to a decent deal, 2-way contract. He may end up only be coming up unless there's injuries, which is very possible. I mean, the Leafs signed a lot of UFAs, forwards especially, didn't they, with Simmons and Spezza, Dorton, and Travis Boyd. The latter, of course, Boyd. I could see them, waiving him if they really have to as well. So there's a bit of a financial puzzle they've got to work out, and re-sign Travis Dermott. So we'll see if they end up having to trade someone or not. They have some cap wizards who are assistant GMs there, so I think Toronto fans shouldn't have to worry about that too much. That's it. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I'd love to hear from you, Toronto, Edmonton, and Ottawa fans, especially about these signings in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out. And in this crazy 2020 bizarro land we're living in right now, please, at the very least, be kind to each other out there, and I'll see you soon.